Thanks for tuning in to ND Golf. I'm Nicholas Devine, and as you can see, still in isolation in Perth, Western Australia. God knows how long we're going to be here for. Now today I have a little bit of a head-to-head for you, and I've picked out probably two hybrids that have hit the market in 2020, which I think are going to be a hit in the market. Now the big thing is with hybrids heading into 2020 is that I think it's going to be a massive part of everyone's golf bag, simply because 3-woods are probably going a little bit too far. So you're going to have to stick a hybrid into your bag somewhere along the lines. Now, why have these two hybrids caught my eye is because of its turf interaction. So we've picked out two hybrids that interact with the turf extremely well. So for you today, I have the Cobra SZ with its Baffler system on the base, and of course the TaylorMade Sim with the V-Steel. Let's see which hybrid comes out on top and which hybrid you should probably pick heading into 2020. Let's get into it. Now before we actually get into today's head-to-head, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Subscribing is completely free to do. And then also make sure you hit the bell, because that's going to give you a notification of when my next video is coming up. Now I also like to give a big shout out to a good friend of mine, Anthony Johnson in North Queensland. He owns a store called the Golf King Superstore. Now supporting your local business is extremely important, especially through these tough times that we're seeing. So make sure that you go check out his online store, and then also make sure you drop into his store in Northern Queensland. I'm in Western Australia, so I won't be dropping into him anytime soon, but if you're in Queensland, please support your local business. Go say hello to Anthony and help him out through these troubled times that we're going through in Australia. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get into these hybrids. Let's see which one's going to win today's battle in a head-to-head. Now, we do have a matte finish here with a Cobra in comparison to that of the Sim, where it's got that carbon fiber top. So when it comes to look, they're both extremely attractive looking hybrids. If you have seen the colorway Maverick hybrid, that is not my favorite at all. That odd shape that it has, not a big fan of it, and also that shiny top. So when it comes to look, these two definitely won hands down in comparison to the colorway Maverick. But if I'm going to be picking out between these two, I'd actually say the Sim does look a little bit better with its white top and its carbon fiber top. But this comes in an extremely close second position. Now sound-wise, this sounds really good. It feels really good. You'll see some shots coming up on the screen shortly. But like I said, it's not about what you're seeing right now. I'm just talking about sound and feel of these two first. Like I said, I already hit 10 shots earlier, so you're gonna see those numbers come up a little bit later as I've hit those shots. But sound, amazing. Feels amazing. And extremely accurate. From the testing that I did earlier, I did see that the SZ was a little bit more consistent. I hit it a little bit straighter than the TaylorMade. So very good. And that's the one thing that Cobra said on continuance from its previous model, is that these hybrids, they're not expecting to go further, but they're expecting them to be a hell of a lot more forgiving. All right, one more with this. Again, like you can see there from the screen, very straight, very accurate. Sounds good, feels good, looks good. Let's have a quick look at the Sim. Now, like I said, this does look better. It's funny how the carbon fiber makes it actually look like a much smaller head. But these two are a lot smaller head than other hybrids that I've seen on the market of late. And that's probably why I like them a little bit more. Both of these are 3 irons, or 3 hybrids, both with stiff shaft. Again, different shafts, of course. Couldn't get the same shaft in both, but I hit these two the best when I was trying them out last week when I was still at the golf course. All right, Sim. Not much difference in sound. So if anything, this one just looks better. Overall distance, but that one went a little bit further than the Cobra, which is what I was expecting. So you still got twist face technology in the Sim hybrid. So when you're hitting toe and heel, it should bring it back to the middle of the fairway. So they say. but feels really, really, really good, sounds really good. I think the most important thing really at the end of the day is going to be the numbers. I'm going to hit one more with this sim, and then I'm going to show you the shots I was hitting earlier whilst we're talking about the numbers. Seem to get better as the day goes on. All right, we'll hit one more. Now, not too bad. Now's that time to get that cup of tea and have a sit down, because I'm going to just run a reel of all the shots I hit earlier. I hit 10 with each of them. I'm going to show you the numbers that came up, and we're going to have a talk about that. All right, let's talk dispersion first of all. Now, we had a little bit of a gathering to the left-hand side of the fairway with the TaylorMade sim, but they all tended to go that way. So I don't know if it was me just having a little bit of a hook shape. I felt like I was hitting it relatively solid. But then all of a sudden, when you bring up the Cobra image on the screen, you can actually see that I hit a fair few more straight there, but then I actually had a couple that went right and a couple that went left. Now, I did hit more straight shots with the Cobra than I did with the TaylorMade sim. So when it comes to dispersion, the dispersion on the Cobra was a little bit wider, in the sense that I had a couple went right and a couple went left and a few that went straight. But the sim tended to miss a lot more to the left with me with the hybrid that I had in my hand today. So dispersion, really for me, the winner is Cobra, simply because I hit it a little bit straighter. I did have more of a tighter gathering to the left-hand side of the fairway with the sim, but for me, it felt better to know that I could hit the Cobra a little bit straighter than the sim. I'll leave that up to you. You can actually see the difference yourself when it comes up on the screen. Now, probably the big thing is dispersion and distance are probably the two things people want to know the most when it comes to a hybrid. Now, the sim did go longer. I did actually hit the sim 194 meters with one of the shots. Now, do understand when I'm saying 194 meters, I'm actually saying that in carry distance. So here's a little bit of a quick tip. When you're buying a hybrid, carry distance is more important than total distance, simply because of the fact that when you're using a hybrid, you're generally going to be attacking a green, and you need to be carrying it over a bunker or over a lake or over something to get to the green. So when you go and test a hybrid, pay a little bit more attention to your carry distance, because that is going to be a little bit more important. So on the average, the Cobra SZ had 182 meters carry, and the TaylorMade sim had 186. So the sim is a little bit longer than that of the Cobra SZ. And when you actually heard me speaking a little bit earlier, they did say the Cobra SZ isn't going to be any longer than last year's model, but it's supposed to be a lot more accurate, and I can honestly vouch for that, saying that yes, the SZ is a hell of a lot more accurate than the previous model, but there is not much of a distance gain. So those are probably the two main factors that you need to look at. You can see all the other numbers coming up on the screen. You can decipher that however which way you want to. Spin numbers, you can look at that. Spin axis, whatever which way you want to look at it. For me, the most two important things is carry distance and dispersion. So for me, hands down winner, I'd actually have to say I can't pick one. I still can't pick one. They're both really, really good hybrids. But I will say, if you want something with a little bit more punch off the face, go the sim. If you want something maybe a little bit more accurate, then I would say go the SZ. But the sim, with its twist face technology, should balance itself out if you've got a little bit of an inconsistent swing. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Again, remember, go see Anthony Johnson, go see the Golf King Superstore, pay him a visit in these troubled times in Australia, and we'll see you next time on ND Golf.